Welcome to Intuitive Seek. My name is Mary Train, and as an intuitive guide, energy healer, and meditation teacher, I aim to bring you a grounded approach to all things energy and intuition. Everything I share is with the hope to help you remember how your unique power of intuition is your own greatest teacher. Hello and welcome. Welcome to the week of July 14th, your intuitive week, your energy update for this week, halfway through the month already. How has July been for you? Take a moment to just settle in for a second. Here you are, halfway through the 7th month of the year. How are you feeling? What are you feeling inspired by? And what is not inspiring you? Halfway through the month is a great time, pretty obvious, a great time to check in with yourself, to check in with how the start of the month was feeling, what you were thinking and doing and wanting to do, and how that is working out. And I hope that with this energy update that I can help you connect to that with a little bit more detail and give you that space. If you have not listened to these energy updates before, welcome and welcome back. If you have, thank you for being here, everyone. And yes, let's get into it. Now, a quick reminder that with these energy updates, I go into a nice deep meditation with the intention to receive insight, guidance, anything that I can bring to you that will help you connect to your intuition, help you remember what you needed to know to help you as you move along. Move along in the month, move along in this week, move along in the year. And one aspect of it is that it can help with your development of listening to your intuition because you get to trust. You get to trust what resonates with you. Take what you need, take what resonates from everything I share, and then leave what doesn't. Really allow your intuition to tell you what is for you and what isn't. So I'll share what came into the meditation, and then I will share the animal that came through in the meditation to help inspire us even more for the week ahead. And then we will finish with some intuitive questions. They can be used as journal prompts or a way for you to answer them in a voice note to yourself. You can answer all or none. Again, really allow whatever I share to resonate with you and not. Trust your intuition. And I want to thank everyone who has reached out throughout the weeks, but especially in July, about these energy updates, about the energy impressions for July. I love hearing how they resonate with you, how they're landing, how they're helping you move through the month, and to remind you that I am here, that you can message me, connect with me, and share how these episodes and everything I share, how it resonates with you. So don't ever hesitate to reach out if you feel the pull to do so, because I love to connect with you. Okay, so let's get into the energy update for the week of July 14th. So the first thing that came through in the meditation was walking, so taking the steps, walking on the ground. There was grass, but the earth almost looked like it was made of tiles, and they were shifting and moving, almost like a puzzle, but more of the word that came in was restructuring. So, yes, the ground was shaky. It was moving. We had to mind our step. But it does feel like we are handling some big restructuring this week, and we may need some help to find our footing and to pay attention when you are feeling a bit disoriented because it's hard to get your balance, to hold your steps, to hold your ground. Now, this did feel like insight towards, okay, if this is happening, if this is what some of the energy may be feeling like through the week, reminding us, okay, how can we feel grounded when the ground is moving? If it feels like metaphorically the ground is moving beneath our feet, how can we feel centered and sturdy and steady? Do you know how? Is it with your breath? Is it with connecting to your heart? Is it through your core? This is when connecting to your solar plexus can really support you. That's what it feels like this week will help us with, remembering and reclaiming how we feel grounded and centered when the earth beneath us is restructuring, when the foundation that we rely on to hold us may feel like it's kind of moving around. But it feels like it's moving around because it needs to. It needs to because something larger and more expansive, a wider road is opening up. So the insight felt like keep your eyes forward, keep your perspective, keep going. Trust that you can handle it, trust that you can navigate any imbalance, trust that you are prepared. And really remember, how do you feel centered? How do you feel grounded when you aren't literally standing on solid ground? When your steps feel uncertain? Again, do you come back to your breath? Do you come back to your heart? What is in place? That's what this insight guidance felt like. To remember what we are prepared for, what we already have in place, those support systems, practices, exercises, people. Don't feel like the shift of the foundation beneath your feet will sweep you away or knock you off your feet. That was not the image. The image was, we are balancing, we are moving, we are shifting, we are finding the footing, we are remembering our center, we are remembering how to be grounded when the earth is not feeling grounded. We are remembering our energy can help us feel grounded. So how do you do that? Remind yourself. And if you're not sure, this is the week to get that knowledge, to remember, to try, to see what works for you. This is the week for it, because it feels like we're not only preparing for that shakiness for this week, but for any unsteady, uncertain, shifting foundation in the future. So now can we remember how to feel that centered and grounded, feel steady in our feet when the earth doesn't feel steady? That will really help us. That's what it felt like. And then remember your solar plexus. Like I said, if it needs some care and support through different exercises, stretching, different yoga positions, different breath work, I have my Reiki healing meditation that you can listen to. There are so many different meditations out there to find. So if that resonates with you, continue to support your solar plexus. This is such an important part of our energy. And that inner sun, the way we express our light, the way we feel seen, our trust, our will, our belief in ourselves, that's how we can tune into that through the open, strong energy of our solar plexus. And then continuing with the trust, the message was trust your shifts. So with all the shifting, trust it. And then this was the question. What is breaking down and what is breaking through? What is breaking down and what is breaking through? I'll remind us of this at the end because it will be a focused journal prompt, an intuitive question, but it was strong and clear. And this feels like another way that we can remind ourselves of what we are prepared for, to bring our attention and awareness to what is restructuring, what is shifting, what all of this change is. Because this month, there is a lot of change. Yes, we have already had so much this year, but it's not letting up, and that's okay. If this is connecting with you and it is resonating with your experience right now, it is for your best. But we are having to remember how we can thrive through change like this, how to keep our eyes forward, how to keep going, how to keep walking when it feels so uncertain and unsteady. Can you get excited about it rather than unsure and trepidatious? Can you get excited? Excited about the breakthrough. You don't have to be excited about what is breaking down because of what needs to break through. But if you can connect to that breakthrough that is happening right now, what is it? Even if it's a small, small part of it that you are witnessing or understanding or that comes to you, pay attention to that. That is some deep knowing that your intuition is sharing with you. So what is breaking through? This week, you may really see more of it coming into your life. And this was the bulk of the meditation, the shifting tiles of the earth, this steadiness through the shifts, this finding our footing, feeling grounded in the ungrounded uncertainty, to pay attention to our solar plexus, to understand and connect to what is breaking through from what is breaking down. So that was the big scene from my meditation. It was just a wider and wider, expanded view of that. But then the animal came through. And the animal for this week is the snake, a powerful animal. This is an animal that can really inspire us quite strongly in many different aspects of our life. And when the snake showed up in the meditation, it was green. And green always reminds me of our hearts. Green represents our heart energy center, our heart chakra. But it also reminds me of the earth, right? Of course, the green, the lush green of life. And that bright green color also reminded me of the spiritual concept of viriditas, and that is the greening power of the divine, or the divine healing power of green. And this comes from the really incredible woman. Her name was Saint Hildegard of Bingen, and she was a scientist and a nun and a scholar and a visionary and a channel and an artist and a composer. She composed one of the first operas in the West in like the 17th century. So she's pretty amazing. But she also, in her visions, she would see this green power, this life force. And the green of the snake really reminded me of this. So I wanted to share a bit if this resonates with you and reminds you of something. So this comes from healthyhildegard.com, all about her viriditas, this greening power of the divine. Viriditas is one of the most recognizable contributions of Hildegard of Bingen. For Hildegard, viriditas encapsulated the divine force of nature, the depth and breadth of which is reflected in the various translations. These words within the words are laden with meaning, with lively, powerful connotations that capture the essence Hildegard conceptualized so long ago. The origin of Veritas may be the union of two Latin words, green and truth. But like most Latin words, Veritas does not easily translate into convenient, straightforward English. While being difficult to translate may be frustrating for some, there is beauty in this complexity. The basic definition, literal, as in green, greenness, and growth, but also metaphorical, as in vigor, freshness, and vitality. For Hildegard, the spiritual aspects were just as essential as the physical meaning. In much of her work, Veritas was the greening power of God or the divine. It was in everything, including humans. This greenness was an expression of heaven, the creative power of life, which can be witnessed in the gardens, forests, and farmland around us. And like those lands, she saw Veritas as something to be cultivated in both our bodies and our souls. Hildegard believed Veritas was not to just be witnessed, but sought out. Hildegard spoke of this pursuit of Veritas through her metaphors of fruitfulness, lushness, and vigor of the soul. These attributes were how she saw life, signs of being alive, and of engaging in this living force of the Creator. The pursuit of this greening power instructed much of Hildegard's work and was foundational in how she constructed her belief of the interconnectedness of the natural world, humanity, and the divine. Regardless of how Veritas is translated, it is a powerful reminder of the importance of our connectivity with nature, each other, and of acknowledging the life and beauty all around us. And this felt like part of that remembrance of this Veritas when I saw the really bright green of this snake. It felt like, oh, perhaps this is also some lovely guidance for when we do need to reconnect to grounded, centered life within us. So when everything is kind of shifting and restructuring around us, instead of moving our feet around trying to find the steadiness, this is maybe also a reminder to connect to that life force, to that creative life all around us, but is connected to us and part of us. That moving life within us, that creative power that we are made of and that we are always connected to and that is moving through us and around us, that is not only for art, for traditional mediums of art, but that creativity is also a gift to know how to navigate the restructuring, the moving parts, how to keep our eyes forward and find our footing, how to navigate that imbalance. We can rely on our creativity because we do have to be incredibly creative to move through so much change. But that is what nature does. It is constantly changing. So it is being part of that natural life force that we feel the comfort and the familiarity within the uncertainty by remembering that that's what we are made for and that we are prepared for it. We just have to remember how. Now, the other note about the snake, bright green, but it had shed most of its skin. So a symbol immediately, transformation. Life cycles are happening, a rebirth, a regeneration. It feels like something that was once in place, that felt like that's it, is actually going through a change, and that we need to be flexible and adaptable and allow it. Surrender our control over all of these changes that may be happening. But of course, I need to share more about the snake because when the animal symbolism comes in, there is so much to connect to around it and that we can be inspired by. Trust your intuition with how the snake energy and symbolism can inspire you. So the snake represents the energy of rebirth, healing, resurrection, alchemy, transmutation, initiation, and wisdom. And I wanted to share a bit of a longer excerpt from Animal Speak, Ted Andrews' book, because in that he shares such a cross-cultural and insightful look at the energy of the snake. So allow me to share it with you. And again, everything that I share, trust what resonates. Trust what you are reminded of as we dive into the snake. So a bit about the snake from Animal Speak. In Greece, the snake was a symbol of alchemy and healing. The god Hermes carried a staff upon which were entwined two snakes. This symbol is the primary symbol of modern medicine and doctors. It is a symbol of wisdom expressed through healing. In India, the goddess Vinata was the mother of snakes and a symbol of water and the underworld. The serpent and snake has long been a symbol of the sexual creative life force within humans as taught in many Eastern traditions. The Kundalini, or serpent fire, lies coiled at the base of the spine. As we grow and develop, the primal energy is released, rising up the spine. This in turn activates energy centers in the body and the mind, opening new dimensions and levels of awareness, health, and creativity. Because it sheds its skin, the snake has long been a symbol of death and rebirth. It sheds its skin as it outgrows the old. This death and rebirth cycle is part of what the snake represents. It has ties and significance to the ancient alchemists and their symbolic transmutation of lead into gold. This is associated with higher wisdom that comes with the passing of time. This cycle of death and rebirth is often symbolized by the Ouroboros, the ancient image of a snake swallowing its own tail. It is a symbol of eternity. Before the snake begins to shed its skin, its eyes will begin to cloud over, and it gives the snake a trance-like appearance. As the skin begins to shed, the eyes begin to clear, as if they will see the world anew. For this reason, alchemists often believed that wisdom and new knowledge would lead to death and rebirth, enabling the individual to see the world from an entirely new perspective. And just jumping out of the excerpt for a minute, so that is such a clear sign and symbol of what we may be experiencing right now. Because in the meditation, the snake was losing its skin, was shedding its skin. So right now, we may be seeing the world, our world, from an entirely new perspective. That things have begun to clear. A clarity has come that was not there before. And a rebirth is happening. Okay, and just a bit more. Anytime a snake shows up, you can expect rebirth to occur in some area of your life. Look for a change in conditions and a movement to new life. Examine what is going on around you. Are you needing to make changes but aren't for some reason? Are you trying to force change too quickly? Are you striking out at people and you shouldn't? Are you not striking and you should? Remember that a snake only uses its venom and bite to overcome prey, but also for defense. What is needing to be healed? What new opportunities are surfacing that you need to strike out for and take advantage of? It can also reflect that your own creative forces are awakening. And then I'll add, also reawakening. What creative forces are reawakening? And then the last part about the snake. Snakes are symbols of change and healing. When snake comes into your life, you can look for a rebirth into new powers of creativity and wisdom. Finding the changes and shifts occur quickly and are soon recognized and defined. So, a longer excerpt, but it did feel like that excerpt felt connected to at least a few of us, a few of you that are listening, and then for me as well. So I hope that some of that resonated with you and helped you connect to and remember what you needed to know for the week ahead for everything that I shared. So even though, yes, there were many questions throughout the episode, here are 3 specific questions that you can answer as journal prompts, or again, answer it in a voice note, or ask a friend about it and you can have a conversation around it, however you feel would be best for you to connect to them. So, the first intuitive question that you could answer for the week of July 14th: what aspect of your life feels like it's restructuring? And what do you need during all of this change? And then number 2, what is breaking down and what is breaking through in your life? And number 3, and this is from the Ted Andrews excerpt that felt very specific: what new opportunities are surfacing that you need to strike out for and take advantage of? And then I'll add, what is stopping you? What is in the way of you taking advantage of, to striking out for these opportunities that are coming, that are already perhaps in the midst? How can you take advantage of them? And why aren't you? And that is your energy update for the week of July 14th. And thank you so much for listening to this episode of Intuitive Seek. And again, I would love to hear if you resonated with the energy that I'm feeling and connecting with that we're moving through. And if you have any thoughts or questions, please do not hesitate to send me a message, and all the links will be in the show notes for that. And if you're curious about how I can support you, go to the links in the show notes there too. You can click and explore all the ways that I can help you through these changing times. And hugely appreciated if you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you feel called to give a bit more support, then please share this episode with a friend, or you could leave a review. Both of those really help other people find my podcast, and it is very appreciated. So thank you again. Be extra kind to yourself, and I will talk to you next week.